Join, wager, cash in, and get a $150 bonus. Sign up now at TVG.com.
Welcome back to TVG. Caleb Keller here in the Los Angeles studios, and going to prospect another horse on the line to the Kentucky Derby, and a horse by the name of Mexikoma, a horse that was competing over the weekend in an allowance race there at Gulfstream Park. And I thought that Mexikoma, when you really look at this horse, he's run 4 really nice races, and I think that he's got some sneaky upside. We're going to take a look at the stretch run in that allowance on Saturday at Gulfstream Park. You're not going to see him here in your screen just yet. Constitution has got the lead out front. Todd Pletcher, the winning trainer there with the 6. So take a look right about now. You're going to see, not yet, right there, top of your screen. You're going to see Joel Rosario going to peel out widest of all right now with Mexikoma and a big late run. And we all know that it was a very speed-favoring racetrack on Saturday. So you're going to get this late third here in the middle of the racetrack with Joel Rosario and really eating up some nice ground and showing that promise to have that turn of foot to want to go longer. But I thought that the interesting part of this race might have been into the first turn. Now, we know we have the short run there at Gulfstream Park into that first turn. Mexikoma kind of got hung out wide there in the starting gate, had to break from the 10 post with Joel Rosario, and for the most part, he's a come from behind her. I mean, he's by Birdstone. I don't think that he really has a ton of early speed, but at least in his last few races, he's broke sharply. And let's take a look at the gate break, and I'll show you what I'm seeing here from that race on Saturday. Keep an eye on the outside gate. Break sharp right here in the green silks, and Joel Rosario is going to look over. It seemed like he was trying to angle over to try and get a little bit better spot. He can't angle over, and now he's hung out way wide going into the first turn. At this point, if they had any plans on being anywhere close, or at least in a mid-pack type trip, those pretty much went out the window when he had to drop out to the back and had that wide trip early on. So I thought that Mexikoma, just based on what I saw there going into the first turn, I think he might have a little bit of extra hidden speed to show. I don't think he's always going to try to launch from out of the clouds. I think that he can maybe be a mid-pack type closer, and we'll take a look at his PPs here on the iPad, and I really do like all the races that I've seen from Mexikoma. We'll go one by one. We'll start out with the debut in July at Saratoga, tried the turf, and look, you look at the odds here, 32-1 was what the horse went off at, and really there wasn't much to be expected, but you look at the fact that he runs into Bobby's Kitten, who's probably one of the best horses for Ken and Sarah Ramsey right now. And also, it looked like he had a little bit of trouble. It looked like he had a little run, needed the lane there from the 3/16 to the 16th pole. So might have been a sneaky good race, although he ended up finishing 7th in that effort. Then he comes back in his second start, September 12th at Delaware, going a mile, switches to the dirt for the first time. And how about this? 88 Beyer and see ya. Wins by 14 3/4 of a length. That is a huge effort with Alex Cintron, and then to flatter that form, they put the blinkers on, and the second place finisher, Smiling Charlie, comes right back to win. Then Team Valor, as we're gonna see here on the ownership line, Team Valor comes in for a private purchase. They buy the horse and take him right to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile at Santa Anita, and this is a really impressive running line as well. Santa Anita on Breeders' Cup Day, competing in the Grade 1 Juvenile, another speed-favoring racetrack. He's 14 lengths back early on. I mean, the horse had no chance to win the race being that far back on a speed-favoring racetrack. And even though he finishes 6th, he makes up over 10 lengths. And I thought it was kind of a sneaky late run. And also you'll see right here, angled out at the 8th pole and was game to the wire. So when we look at the breeding on the top side, you're gonna see Birdstone. And I just think that with this horse closing in to speed-favoring racetracks, he's got a lot of hidden talent. We're going to look at the pedigree tree here. Birdstone on the top side. Birdstone, we all remember, pulled the heartbreaker there to beat Smarty Jones in the Belmont, and Birdstone has really been prominent with his progeny going a mile and a quarter, a mile and a half. So I think that Mexikoma is really an interesting horse for the Team Valor stables. You know, he had a nice third. That was the first time that he had run since the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and now the question is, where do they go next? If I had a guess, I would say maybe the Grade 1 Spiral at Turfway Park. You look at the fact that Team Valor's had a lot of success in the Grade 1 Spiral. You look at, well, it's not a Grade 1, but at least it's on the Derby Trail. But you look at the fact that Animal Kingdom won the Spiral and parlayed that into a win in the Kentucky Derby. You look at the fact that Went the Day Well won the Spiral at Turfway and ended up running a nice 4th in the Kentucky Derby. So Mexikoma, to me, has run 4 really nice races, but that only, the maiden special weight is the only one that really pops off the page. The other ones, you see a third, you see a sixth, and you see a seventh. So I think there's a lot of hidden form with Mexikoma. I think he's a horse on the improve and certainly on the rise there for the Team Valor Stables. Taking a look here at the current point standings, Intense Holiday leading the way there, 53 points. Wildcat Red might be one of the pace setters there in the Kentucky Derby for Jose Garofalo, has already got 50. So Mexikoma, he's got a lot of work to do to get on the Derby trail, but maybe a win or a second place effort in the Spiral or another prep race to the Kentucky Derby would put him with a chance on that first Saturday in May. And hey, being by Birdstone, if he doesn't make the Kentucky Derby, why not a big contender there in the Belmont as well? So trainer Ricky Matee got one there with Mexikoma for the Team Valor Stables and looks to be a horse with a lot of upside and a lot of talent.